Hi all, this will be a very heavily unedited and very cozy video for those of you who are, like me, not spending New Year's with people or who prefer to be alone, I guess, physically at least. So today I'm going to be talking about this really cool orrery that my parents gifted me, but most importantly I'll be painting the rest of the planets. I've already painted Earth, as you can see, because unfortunately it has a little casing. I think it might have had something to do with the moon, but I can't see anything on the packaging that's got the moon, so never mind, but I had to do that one first. But for the rest of them, I thought I might just paint them with you. So the colours that I have, there weren't that many that I needed because thankfully we don't need much because we've done Earth. But for most of the planets I'll be using this ochre colour and also some burnt umber, and so these will create the brownish beigeish ochre tones that are in pretty much most of the planets, I think. Jupiter, Saturn and Venus, yes, so we'll be using those for those planets. And then also there's also red for Jupiter's Great Red Spot, and a couple wisps on Venus I know need a little bit of that. I've also got down here 2 blue colours which will be useful for Neptune and Uranus, and also some black so that I can darken some of the colours. And did I need anything else? I don't think so. Oh yeah, Mercury, I completely forgot about Mercury. Yes, Mercury is all grey, so we will be needing that for Mercury. And of course I do have white, which, perfect, is over here. Now I'm trying something new with the camera today in that I'm not using the front camera but the back camera to increase the quality. I'm not sure how well that's working or if the exposure's going a bit crazy, so I'm very sorry if it is. But regardless, you should be able to see me paint the stuff, which will be the main point of the video. Okay, so alongside that I've also got some really nice blue tea. I've also got a paintbrush somewhere, here, with one of my very cool spacey mugs, of course. Very fitting for the channel. And I've also got some other cool things that I've been working on, which, I don't know, if I get time I might show you. So this is the box that it came in. It is a really cool orrery, and while the solar panel doesn't work for some reason, what it does, it might just be a problem with the cogs. You can actually manually push this thing and move the planets around. So I'll show you it right now whilst we don't have paint on it, because once I finish the paint, sometime soon in the next year, of course, I will actually go over it with nail polish, which will actually cover the the paint itself and protect it from abrasion from the hands. But if you start off with Mercury, you can just manually push the thing. And you can see the smaller planets rotate much faster. That's Venus, I realised, I'm sorry, than the larger planets, but you do get some really cool rotation, which sort of is accurate to the planets themselves, which is pretty cool. Okay. Right, so what should we do? I need a paint palette. I completely forgot about that. Where can I find one? I guess I could use the box actually, so I'll just do that. Oh wait, I've got a little thingy from a chocolate box that I had. That's good. To paint using a palette, all you need is something with a shiny coating, really, because that's when a lot of plain papers, they'll absorb the moisture quite easily, so if you have something coated, it doesn't do that, obviously. But I'm just rambling, let's get onto it. And I think I'll start with Mercury first, so I'll add a nice large amount of white and also some black. And you might be able to hear some fireworks behind me. I can't really control that, but that's just the neighbours celebrating the New Year. Now, where did... when you're painting plastic, acrylic is okay. I mean, acrylic is plastic paint, of course, but things like oil and gouache paint I find are not very good, especially gouache, it's terrible, and of course watercolour. But one thing you need to keep in mind when you're painting with acrylic on plastic is that you should, oh that was my kettle, you should keep the paintbrush as dry as possible, because once you add water it just does not stick to the stuff. So where is Mercury? Ah, it's this one. So I guess I shouldn't have spun them around. They're a bit everywhere. This one right over here is Mercury. He's got little textured spots on the plastic, which is pretty cool. So I won't have to do all of the texturing with the paint. So what I'm going to do is mix large amounts of white with just a tiny bit of black to start off. And then what you can do is build up darker colours by adding very slight tiny bits of more black, which is a lot easier than starting with black and then moving brighter into the lighter greys and then eventually white. Okay, so I'm going to try and do this with the camera. I'm gonna try and do this with the camera in mind. Nope. I have to keep it closer. Very sorry. Okay, that's the top half done. Now I also want to do the bottom half over here. This is a really cool little toy that my parents got me, and I'm really grateful for it as well. It's absolutely perfect given that I study a load of astrophysics and my favourite thing is space. It works with a bunch of cogs, so on the inside what you've got is a solar panel which is attached to a little motor, and then what you do on top of that is you add a really long, I believe it's called a cog, yeah, something like that. You add a cog to the motor itself and then attach that to these yellow bits, and then on top of that what you'll do is you'll stack up these I stacked up those plain plastic bits, the transparent ones, and then inside those with each layer of transparent plastic I would add 2 cogs, one for one side, one for the other, and then what would happen is some of the cogs would get bigger, some would get smaller, and that would actually make the larger, the bigger distance planets, the furthest planets, my English is failing me today, move around much slower, which was pretty neat. I'm being distracted. I can't multitask very well, although I'm pretty sure you've picked that up from my videos already. So I painted it a fairly even coating of grey. What I'm going to do now is just make the grey just slightly darker and then just splodge that around a little bit. I'm not really going for accuracy here because it's such a tiny little golf ball essentially, and it doesn't really matter, but just adding a little bit of texture, you know, because Mercury itself is quite a beautiful, striking planet, I guess you could say. It's got loads of little stretches and like craters, and it's a very heavily textured planet. So I just want my painting to reflect that. Oh, it's so weird trying to talk and like knowing that I won't cut the the video that much. It's so difficult to just keep on talking and present, I guess. There we go, he's all done. I'll see if I can show you that. So there it is. Hopefully the camera will focus. But there we go, we've got one nice planet. Okay, so next up will be, should we do Venus? Yeah, I think so. So depending on whether you want to incorporate the atmosphere or not, the textures on this orrery itself does, so I will be making the Venus with an atmosphere. Venus can look very different shades of warmth. The atmosphere is a little bit more on the beigey side, so I'm going to definitely incorporate that a little bit more. Should I add blue? Yeah, I need to tone it down. So that's what I'll do. But if you actually look on the surface, it's not exactly the nicest, the most calm looking planet. It definitely looks like something out of Dante's Inferno. Dante's Inferno, yeah. Not fun. So I'm gonna go and try and mix a colour that will be more suitable for Venus. Okay, so this looks fairly okay. It's the that one over there. It pretty much looks as it should. I don't have any issues, but maybe I might just add a tiny bit of blue because it is a bit too warm, I think. Oh no, it's too blue. More white. Okay, there we go. It's a bit more of a softer beige now, so that's what I'm going to add to Venus now. And that's the planet over here, so let's see if I move it closer to you. You might not be able to pick it up, my camera's not that great, but there are some wisps and some meridian lines. Interesting. What's good about the yellow colour is that it helps the planet a little bit with the colouring, because Venus is a little bit of a warm coloured planet, so don't need to put too big of a coating to change that. And what's nice about the paint strokes as well is that the stroke effect does look like wisps on the Venusian atmosphere, which is pretty cool. So, not exactly the greatest angle. That's okay. There we go. I'll just add a tiny bit of just pure ochre to add some of the warmth to some of the streaks. One of these days I need to do like a full painting, like, is it a speed through? What did they do? They like speedily do the paintings, you know, they speed up the footage whilst they make something really nice, and I might do that. I do really love painting, I just don't get the chance to do it all that often. Okay. I think that needs to be a bit more yellow, I won't lie. Could just be my lighting as well. So, there we go. That's Venus all done. Cool. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Right, next up... Oh yeah, I forgot Mars exists. Yeah, so the red is actually for Mars. Right, I probably won't do Mars just yet because all of the colours that I've got here right now are perfect for Saturn. So that's what I'll do. For Saturn's rings, I'll just keep it transparent because there's no need to make it otherwise. And it fits, it looks pretty nice. So what I'll do with Saturn is I'll just paint it ochre and beige, mainly because that's what the colour... Oops, did I? Never mind. That's what Saturn is. So this is going to get increasingly more difficult to paint, I've realised. Okay, so I'm just starting off at the top with the ochre, and then with the paint that I had already mixed for Venus, plus just a bit more white, I'll add that to the top. I think the instructions also tell you how to paint the planets as well, so it's pretty good. This is meant for all ages, so of course they need to add that kind of stuff. Okay. so difficult to get to. It did tell you to paint the planets beforehand, but I just know that if I paint them then, the paint's gonna chip off when I'm handling them, so I thought I'd just wait. And plus, I could make a video about it. Okay, so I've done the basic core paint. I'm now just gonna add some of the lighter colours. There is also that hexagonal jet stream on Saturn, which I thought I could do, but it's a bit too much effort. And plus, this thing is naturally very circular, so what's the point? It won't show up very nicely. Okay. So that's pretty much all done. I hope you guys can see this. It's quite difficult to see things on plastic because of the shine. And not only that, it's acrylic, which is wet, and that's not going to be easy to see as well. So hopefully you guys can see this. Hopefully my camera doesn't cut out as well, because I know that happens a lot and that really annoys me. Okay, next up, let's just do Jupiter. How should I do that? It's already got the stripes in there, but the stripes aren't accurate and it's really annoying me. I know it's meant to be for kids, for like a kid to play with, but I just need it to be accurate. Why can't they make it accurate? So damn annoying. Oops. Oh, that was Mars, that's fine. Okay. Hold on a sec, I could just take them out. Nah, never mind. So... goes on top. I'll do the lighter colours on the... is it a zone or a belt? I can't remember which way round it is. I think it's a zone. You'll have to search that one up. But I'll do the lighter colours on the zones, so the top one should be dark and then the second one should be light. With the equator one being light as well, I can't remember. Yes, that's true. So that's how I'll try and do it, although it seems that, yeah, this thing is not very accurate, but that's okay. I can make it accurate. I can fix it. And once again with the paint strokes, it doesn't matter if it's not very homogeneous because they kind of resemble winds as well, which is pretty cool. Oh, they did include the great red spot though, that is pretty cool. I'll show you the great red spot when I'm done painting. See if I can twist it. There we go. Great red spot goes outside, thank you. Oh, and they've done the mini ones as well next to it. That's actually pretty awesome. Okay, I'm sorry about the mean accuracy comments now. Okay, so I'll leave Jupiter over there for you. So guess whose camera cut out just as I completed an entire planet. Sorry about that. I didn't realise how long I had been painting. But to catch you up to speed, all I've done is I've finished Jupiter just by placing some red on it, and then I completed Mars. So you haven't missed out on much. The only things we're going to be doing now is just Uranus, that one, and Neptune over here. And those ones are going to be really quick because they are very homogeneous in colour, which is great, with the exception of Neptune, which does have a couple wisps. In the meantime, I did have a tea break. The tea I'm having is from Bird and Blend. It's a really nice tea called Blue Pea Flower, or Blue Raspberry, but it's got blue pea flower in it, which makes it a really nice rich blue colour. And so what's really cool about it is that if you add anything acidic, such as lemon or lime juice, you can in fact make the tea go pink, which I think is really cool and justifies the high price. I don't quite like any of their other teas. The blends and the scents are fantastic, but there's not much taste to it for some reason, so I don't know. It's still quite good. Nice. That one's quite a strong taste. I'm out of breath. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, so I'm gonna get started with Jupiter, Neptune. No, Uranus, that one's the lighter colour, we need to start with that. And in the meantime, we might just talk, really, just about stuff, about the year. I was hoping this would be a live stream actually, so that I could actually chat in real time, but that's, oh well, never mind. I guess I can just pretend this is a live stream, and then once I upload it, we can just chat in the comments. Sorry about that. I didn't know that you had to apply for live streaming, which is very stupid, but never mind. Okay, so let's get started with Uranus, which is over here. One annoying thing is that Uranus doesn't have its rings, which is so, it's annoying. But they did actually make an effort to tilt the planets sideways, despite the fact that the planets themselves don't rotate on this model, which is, it's so close yet so far. It's so, never mind, it doesn't matter. And I think, as a side note for later, I might add a little bit more colour to Jupiter, because it's quite difficult painting on plastic, but I mean, I did a fairly good job. So with Uranus, I'm confusing all these planets, I'm going to be mixing a tiny bit of cerulean with the white to create a nice pale colour. Now, to be truthful, Uranus does have a slight green pigment to it, but I'm not going to bother with that. It's just another bit of faff, which I don't want to get into. So I'm going to add a large amount of white, tiny drop of blue, slightly bigger drop of blue, and mix that up. Perfect. Cool. So I've got this very nice bright icy blue over here, and I'm just going to coat the entire planet with it. Cool. And this one I should be able to get in view of the camera because I don't need to pay attention to detail. There you go. I'm not even looking at it. Okay, I do need to look at it to some extent. This might be one that needs a second coat because the plastic is showing just a tiny bit. It did come with its own paints, although I had a look at them. I'm not too sure if they'd be any better than the paints that I have. So, how have your years been? Your years? Your year. How has your year been? Oops, there we go. For me, it's been a roller coaster, I would say. Loads of ups and downs, which I guess that's how every year goes. But yeah, nearly failed a year, passed the year eventually. Had some legal issues with my home agency. I started cosmology, which was great because it's my favourite subject. And I've got a really cool bit of painting to do. And not only that, my channel has grown quite a lot as well. It went from, I think oops, didn't touch that, did I? Yes I did, never mind. At the start of the year it went from, I think, 30 subscribers, or was it 20? No, it was 30. And then it just went all the way up to nearly 550 now, which is absolutely fantastic, and thank you very much as well. No doubt the memes definitely swayed that a little bit. But yeah, I'm very grateful for all of you that have stuck around. I know a couple people have unsubscribed since the memes, realising that, no, I'm actually being very serious. This is a physics channel, not just a memes channel. But that's completely okay, and I'd rather people subscribe to what they like instead. But thank you very much for all of your attention. There's just this tiny little bit. There we go. That's just a plain blue planet, I guess. Yeah, I'll definitely need to give that just a second coating later. I might as well just continue on with Neptune if it... Yeah, I think we'll just continue on. I think what's a shame with this is that it doesn't have Pluto, and I understand why. Physically speaking, it can't fit Pluto onto the actual model itself without not only adding to one of these, but making the actual model bigger. So I understand why they didn't, but makes me sad that they've ignored Pluto once again. Just realised this table is very wobbly. Okay, so I'm just dabbing what I had left on my paintbrush onto the, I can't pronounce this one, oops, phthalo blue? I call it Prussian blue because I'm a snob like that. Phthalo blue, sorry. But yeah, so that's just gonna lighten it up a little bit, make it not so navy and a little bit more of a cerulean, because cerulean actually has a little bit of green in it, I think. But yeah, never mind. I did add it to the right planet. Yeah, I did. So I'll just coat that entirely in this lovely, lovely dark blue colour. And then at the end, I'll just, oh, it's already making white wisps. I'll add some white wisps at the end, and because it already had some light blue, it's already doing that a tiny bit, which is cool. But yeah, Neptune has some amazing wind speeds on the planet, although I shouldn't talk too much because one, I've already got a video on that, and two, I actually have some Uranus and Neptune socks that I'll be talking about later. Oh dear. There we go. Twist that around. I didn't really think about the fact that I made a Neptune video before and now I'm making a new Neptune video. So what I'm going to be doing with those socks is just combining them into one. And then instead I'll be talking about Pluto in the next video. And some other dwarf planets, which I love the dwarf planets so much. They're so cool. Haumea is just... Oops. Haumea is just such a really cool planet in my opinion. Don't fall over again. That was fine. Especially with how oblate it is, and of course it's got moons as well, which is even cooler. And Pluto, of course, is absolutely fantastic, and the fact that it's sort of like a binary system with its main moon, if you could even call it a moon at that point, is really cool. But of course I'll talk about that a bit later. So how are you spending your new year? I'm spending mine painting, getting absolutely terrified of this damn stool that's about to fall, and just overall having a good wobbly time. Yeah, it was raining a lot today, so didn't have much of a chance to go out, but I still went out and got some food because I did forget that the shops would be shut tomorrow, so I'm now prepared. Nearly done. I'll just flip it upside down and paint. Oh, I don't have any more paint left. Oh no. Come on. Okay, that's good enough. Oops. Ay. Oh, okay, all done. Please stop wobbling. Mercury has dried, Venus is almost dry, there is one little patch that is still wet. Earth is obviously dry because I painted that yesterday. And the others are not quite there, you can sort of tell. So I'm gonna wait for them to dry properly before I handle them. And give them a second coating, although they look ready for a second one. I'll do that later. Oops. Cool. So I'll just add some wisps onto Neptune. Not too many, so one more. If that even went. No, it didn't. Wait a second. Oh, never mind. I thought there was a huge beige blob on it. Oh, I can't do this. There we go, done. So that's Neptune done, and I won't lie, I think Neptune is my favourite out of all of these. Oh well. that's all done. I won't be painting the sun because that is perfectly fine as it is. Right, cool. I'll finish that off later. I don't know if you can even see me in the camera. Never mind. There you go. You can see me now for sure. So, yeah, honestly, just comment down below how your year has been and anything physicsy, I guess. I do love to chat about physics. Not about condensed matter though, as you probably would have seen in my previous video. But yeah, any other projects you've got going on, any cool things. One cool thing for space this year was the James Webb Space Telescope as well, which I've talked about in a previous video, but I still love to talk about again, and I probably will talk about again and again in the future. But yeah, that was a huge advancement for space and science in general, especially with the fact that not only is James Webb's telescope ginormous, it can see, I think, the most that any other telescope, more than any telescope has ever seen before. And not only that, it's equipped in the infrared, so we'll be able to see the early universe like never before, which is absolutely fantastic, and I'm very excited for what James Webb will bring for us in the future as well, especially for next year. And we've already seen some amazing stuff, such as the deepest image we've seen yet so far, details in galaxies with dust, in terms of their dust, that we've never seen before, new images of Neptune, which is great. We also had the images of Jupiter and its moons, and I think we've got some exoplanet ones now as well, which is absolutely fantastic. So that's all good stuff to look forward to next year as well. In terms of very crafty projects, I have been going through a little sort of craze with needle punching as well. And so I've actually started off doing two very cool little celestial bodies. I think you might be able to guess which one that is. And it's sort of binary / moon companion. And in the distance there is Neptune. I might remove Neptune and make it a darker colour because I didn't have any dark colours when I was in my parents' house. But yeah, so this is the actual nearly finished product itself with the little loops. I think it's really cool, and I will happily frame this when I'm done with it in 10 years' time, it seems. Another thing that I have, that I started this morning was finally my Uranus socks, because I have not been knitting for, I think it's been a couple months now. The last thing I made was the Saturn socks, and even that took an entire month of just procrastination. So here are my Neptune socks in the making. I started this all this morning as well, and I'm nearly done with this, which is pretty good. Very good that I'm still speedy. And I've also got the Neptune socks, which I'll have to do after that, and I'll just show you the yarn that I've got for it. It's a very nice, very colourful one as well, by Opal, of course, because I love their brand, I love their socks. I'm thinking of what I can do with the leftover yarn, because I've got quite a lot of it left. And what I was thinking was a very cool rainbowy jumper, and it might not be obvious to you, but I do enjoy colourful rainbowy things. So I'll definitely have a look into that, see if I can make a pattern. But there could be other things that I might do with it, and if I do something like Fair Isle, where if I've got another colour, let's say just a load of black, which can just be empty space, and I make a pattern with the planetary stuff and alternate depending on what planet comes next in the solar system, that still leaves me with a lot of yarn. I'm not a big guy, so of course there'd be a load of yarn left over, so I'd need to find something to do with that as well. So I might just make a bunch of planets. I don't know. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me, and it was fun painting, I guess, on camera. So I'm sorry I couldn't live stream, but hopefully I could be in the background of your New Year's evening. Anyways, have a good year, and I'll see you next year.